Namaskanta Namosade Taddakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrajavana Sudede Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarabhyascha Kripasindubhyev च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर सरस्वती गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मुखम करोतु वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमोहं वन्दे श्रीगुरोऽनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् हरे कृष्णा. So today we'll continue with Adi Leela. You know, the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So we discussed the story of Lord Chaitanya eating the food offered by the Brahmana. So also in the childhood very prominent was, one day Mother Sachi mother decorated baby Nimai with a lot of jewelry, and he was playing. He was playing in the front, and two thieves saw the baby boy. They were very attracted to him, but they were equally attracted to his jewelry. So they were thinking, if they steal all this jewelry, so they will have you know, the rest of the life will go on very well. So what they did, they gave him a candy, and they put him on their shoulders, and they abducted him. So, and on the way they were talking, wow, these bangles are mine. This what is it? That necklace is mine. The bangles are, the jewelry is mine. The armlets are mine. So likewise, they were talking about the diff. They were talking, and one point when they found a very secluded place, they brought him down to steal the jewelry. As soon as they put him down, he started crying. So he started crying. Then they were upset. This may attract the attention. So again, they put him on his shoulders. I put him on their shoulders, and by the influence of Yoga Maya, what they did, they were going here and there, looking for a place. At the end, they thinking that they have come home to their home. They came to uh, Jagannath Mishra's home. Meanwhile, Jagannath Mishra, Mother Sachi, and all the elderly people. So where is baby Nimai? Where is Nimai? He is not visible. Suddenly, as they were thinking like that, so these thieves they put him down, and the boy ran into the home. He ran into the home. So, and immediately Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi, they took him on his lap. Oh, where did you go? Who brought you here? So then the thieves understood. They were bewildered by this, Yog Maya, and without telling anybody, they ran away. So, so that is another, childhood is like, childhood as Bajalila means 1 to 5 years. So that is another pastime. And one day, he was pretending to be sick, and that day was Ekadasi. So he said, a child. So, uh, so this Hiranya and Jagdish, they are Ekadasi, and they made nice. They made a nice prasad. They cooked nice bhog and offered to Vishnu. And if I get that Ekadasi prasad, I'll be all right. How do you know? So they're not like neighbors. It's far. So they went and checked, and Hiranya and Jagdish, um, they made boga to the Lord, you know, and they made already boga, and the prasad was already there. They made the offering to the Lord, and they removed it. So the prasad was there, and when asked, they gave it. And people were shocked. How does baby Nimai know that these people are there? First of all, how does he know the names? How does he know that they're cooking Ekadasi prasad? So then the another thing is, um, after eating this prasad, of course, he was cured. and he would, Krishna, right? What is the unique quality with Krishna? Stealing. Krishna. So he would steal the food from the neighbors and he would fight with the children. They Sachimata and Jaina Vishnu, they are very respectful Brahmin people. So when the neighbors would complain, you know, when they complained one day, Sachimata she chastised Nimai. So when she chastised Nimai, baby Nimai became very angry and he broke all the pots. You know, so when he broke the pots, Mother Sachi pacified him and put him on his lap. And she asked, "Why you did this? Why you did this?" And baby Nimai was very ashamed, and he admitted his fault. Wrong, right? She said, "These are all yours. These are meant for yours." And oh, you're breaking like this. Then who will give us? Who will give us back? And a very, the another pastime is of course baby Nima and puppy. They are Brahminical people. Only animal that is allowed in the homes is a cow. And that too, in the home, extension of the home is Goshala. So that's where you'll have a cow at the end of the home. It's not part of the home. One day baby Nimai went and brought a puppy. You know. So he said, so I mean basically, people who are very clean, Brahminical, they don't touch dogs. The only, as I said, the only animal that is allowed is cow. That in the courtyard of the home. Of course, cow can be brought into the home, but usually, uh, at the time of what is it, Graha Pravesh, when you now, when you do the housewarming, that is a time actually to create auspiciousness to the home. In olden days, people would bring the cow, and you would make the cow. Uh, they would take the cow in every room of the home to create auspiciousness. In that process, if the cow passes the dung, that is even considered more auspicious. But what is it? So the baby Nima, he brought a puppy. She said, "No, no, no, no. What will others think?" I said, "This is my puppy, Um, this is my puppy." And he's a small child. You cannot say anything to him. So children, like they play with the puppies. So he brought her, and he put her in the home. This puppy, and he was petting the puppy. So what she did, he went to Ganga to take bath. Then Mother Sachi released the puppy. So when she released the puppy, she came back. There was no puppy. "Mommy, where is puppy?" She said, "I don't know." So Lord Chaitanya took very good care of this puppy. He fed this baby puppy, So he loved this puppy so much. Just because he fed the puppy, the food, the puppy attained the love of God. The next day, as everyone was watching, this puppy attained the love of God. And as everyone was watching the puppy, she ascended to the, spiritual realm. Hare Krishna. Went back to Godhead. So, and what is that? One day, small boy, or the chastised Sachimata, and she pretended to faint. When she pretended to faint, so Nimai started crying. Started crying. The neighbors told Nimai, the ladies, if you bring 2 coconuts, it will make your mother all right. But we need 2 coconuts. It's all right. He came back fast with 2 coconuts. He's a small boy. Where did you get it? They were shocked when he brought 2 coconuts. And he started growing. Then, he was becoming more and more mischievous. So what he would do, he would go to the bank of Ganga. People, they would take bath. Even today, Navadvip, they come and take bath. So, but those days it is customary, you take bath in Ganga morning and evening. So, baby Nimai would go, is a little bit further grown up. And these girls will come, and what they would do, uh, they would take bath, and they would bring offerings. They would make the offerings to Durga, Kali, Katyayani. These young girls hoping that when they pray nicely, they will get the good husbands. So Nimai, what he would do, he would snatch the offerings and eat it. And hey, Nimai, don't do that. Don't do that. So he said, look, this Katyayani, this Durga, they're all my servants. And this Ganga also, my maid servant. And um, if you make these offerings to me, I bless that you get very handsome, very beautiful, very rich husbands. Um, and you'll have 7 children, and you will lead a very, very happy life. But if you do not give these offerings to me, I bless that you get old husbands. I curse that you get old husbands with 4 co-wives. And the girls, they would be scared and they would make offerings to him. But what they did, they went and they would go and complain out of affection actually. Nima is doing like this, he's snatching our offerings, and sometimes he would go underneath the water. And what he would do, when somebody is doing Gayatri underneath the water, he'll pull their feet. You know, he'll pull their feet, or when they are doing offering Gayatri, he would take water from his mouth and he would splash the water on their face. So, a childhood, he was very, very mischievous actually. And one day, um, Lakshmi Devi, the daughter of Vallabhacharya, came. She's actually now, what is that, expansion of Lakshmi Devi? So she came to take bath, and Nimai meets Lakshmi Devi on the bank of Ganga. So, so immediately their mutual love awakened, and he recited that verse that Krishna recites to gopis: "Just worship me and the Supreme Lord, and your desires will be fulfilled." You know. So immediately Lakshmi Devi, what she did, she worshipped him, and he blessed her, and she went home. um, she blessed her and she went home. So one day, Nima ate dirt. Krishna Lila, Krishna eats dirt. Likewise, Nimai, he ate dirt. When he ate dirt, so his mother came to know. So she rushed. Nimai, you're eating dirt. Why are you eating this clay? He said, everything in this world is clay only. Everything in this world is only mitti, clay. So what is wrong eating dirt? You know, if you vegetable, after some time vegetable, it becomes dirty. It'll become into the earth. So everything is earth only. What's wrong? She said she is daughter of Nilambar Chakravarti, a scholar. She said, where did you get this philosophical speculation? Everything is dirt and I can eat dirt. She said, um, though everything is dirt, um, everything has its own value in its own state. Dirt, when it is made into a clay pot, A clay that's made into clay pot will hold the water, and the clay pot it will hold the water, and we can use the pot. But when you pour the water on clay, and it will become mud. Though both are clay, you know, when they are in different states, they have different purposes. So yes, um, when you harvest vegetables, the vegetables come from earth, no doubt, the transformation of earth. But when you eat vegetables, they get you get nourishment. But when you eat dirt, you become sick. You know, and she said that. So you know, so so I mean, Lord Chaitanya is telling the world why he came to this world. But everything is Brahman. Everything is what is that? Prabhupada writes, heat is heat, light is light. Heat cannot become light, light cannot become heat. Though they're both energies. So Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, simultaneously one and different. Simultaneously one and different. So for example, everything is earth only, everything is clay only. But the clay, when it is transformed into a pot, you use it. But clay as a clay, when you pour the water, it becomes totally muddy. So the what what is that? Yes, the vegetables. When you grow them properly, definitely it is a transformation of earth. The vegetables come when you eat, you become nourishment. Uh, but uh, but when you eat dirt and when you eat clay, you become sick. Everything is not same. Actually, one devotee, what is his name? Mahatattva Prabhu, he says this, and there is so much variety. If you take, for example, wheat, how many items you can make with wheat? All these items are the transformation of wheat only. But you can make variety out of it. Or milk, you can make thousands of milk products. When there is that much variety, the origin of God, why is a homogeneous substance and no non-changing homogeneous substance? Why there is no variety in him, right? And actually, when he was telling this, he enumerated the qualities, the different products only from wheat. It was very mesmerizing. So meat, cracked wheat, you know, small cracked, big cracked wheat, coarse wheat. Then what is it? Atta. Then what is that? Semolina. They are all wheat only, right? And these are actually the things that are directly coming from wheat. But then what? When you mix them with other substance, you get hundreds and thousands of items. And people don't understand this much variety. Simply take milk. The milk, but when you mix them with different combinations, just milk. What is that? Add little culture yogurt. Milk. You can make peda, sandesh. What is that? Paneer. Um, kheer. So many things you can make. So much variety. Variety means so for happiness to there should be for us to have a continuous happiness there should be variety. So the Supreme Lord, who is actually source of happiness, and there is a whatever after all simple ingredient he has created like wheat or milk has that much variety. Why he doesn't have? So Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. This is the philosophy postulated by Lord Chaitanya, which gives a solution, which solves every problem, every doubt. Achintya inconceivable, simultaneously, Bheda different, Abheda one, simultaneously one and different. Sunlight, heat and light are energies of the sun, but they are different from sun. No, we and Krishna, qualitatively we are one, but quantity Krishna is infinite, we are infinitesimal. Otherwise, Krishna is Sachidananda, we are also Sachidananda. So anyway, what is that? When his mother told like this, this is very good. Why you never told me this before? This philosophy, I like it. I will not eat it dirt anymore. Hare Krishna. So one day, what he did, he sat on the pots. You know, he said, actually, we are discussing Chaitanya, what is that? Chaitanya Bhagavata focuses a lot of light on Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes. But because Shri Krishna, Vrindavan Thakur has very lucidly described them, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami only, discuss them in brief. Otherwise, Chaitanya Charitamrita would become, and so, it would become voluminous actually, it would become huge. So, what is that? He sat on the, it's like in India, those days, they would use pots, earthen pots, you know, they would use only one time. And you would cook in those pots, the just the cow dung, like homes, simple homes, and you mop the home with cow dung. And cow dung is antiseptic. Cow dung is antiseptic. And uh, and it's actually what is that the Britishers used to tell us Indians are such a primitive people. They mop their homes with cow stool. We went and gave them culture. We started the train tracks. We started the telephone lines. We gave them the culture. So American scientists said Aryans are the most intelligent people. Without spending money, they know very well how to disinfect their homes. Wherever you mop wherever you mop your home with cow dung, you will not have bacteria. That home becomes bacteria. Lysol, 99.9%, you know, it will kill bacteria 99.9%. But cow dung 100%. Hare Krishna. Aryans are the most intelligent. They know how to make their home bacteria free. But by the time, we came to know, we already gave it up. Right? Hare Krishna. So, um, so what they would do, and they would use the earthen pots and they would cook it and then they throw them. Cleanliness. Wow. So one day what Baby Nema did, he went and sat on the pots. And when he went and after cooking, they would throw in a designated area. When she saw him sitting on the pots, she said, "Why are you sitting here? This is unclean." Then he said, "Mother, when these pots are used for cooking boga to Vishnu, how can they be unclean? They cannot be unclean." So they can, and actually, like, so Kapila Muni explaining to Devahuti, um, Lord Chaitanya told Mother anything that is used in God's service, in Krishna's service, it cannot become unclean. So he told this Sankhya philosophy to his mother, and he requested his mother, please don't eat grains on Ekadasi. Don't eat grains on Ekadasi. You know. Then what is that? One day, and she agreed. So that's why in Hare Krishnas we follow Ekadasi very sincerely, right? Because Ekadasi, the sin personification, is present on the greens. So that's why if you really want to make progress, Ekadasi day we don't eat grains. We should not eat grains. But of course, Hare Krishna devotees are very, very uh, innovative, intelligent. They invent so many ways to satisfy the tongue. Ekadasi pizza, Ekadasi pasta. You know. But anyway, ideally we should not eat grains on Ekadasi. That's okay. You know. So one day, what is that? Jagannath Mishra had a dream. So what happened? Jagannath Mishra Chas, in order to a correct Nimai, he chastised Nimai actually. You know. So I'm telling you once again, we are not discussing Chaitanya Bhagavat, you know, we are discussing only Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, you know, he mentions the past tense in brief. But Chaitanya Bhagavat, yes, he does. You know, Vrindavan Tagore explains his childhood pastimes in a very elaborate way. So one day Jayannath Mishra chastised him, you know, baby Nimai, and that day when he slept, he had a dream. One Brahman came and he said, why are you doing this? Whom do you think your son is? He's not ordinary. You know, he's Supreme Lord. So please don't do that. You know, Jagannath Mishra said, even if he is Narayan, he is my son. I'll chastise him. It is my duty as a father to discipline him. So out of love, immense love, uh, Jagannath Mishra, like the way, what is that? Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj considered Krishna as their own son. Triya Chopanishadischa Sankhya Yogischa Satate. Upajiyamana Mahatmya Hari Samanyatatmajam. The way the Krishna Supreme Lord, Yashoda considered him as my ordinary child, you know. So likewise, though the Brahman is telling Jagannath Mishra told, no, he's my son, even if he's Narayan, he's my son. And they had a discussion on dharma. You know, they had a discussion on dharma, and later Jagannath Mishra told this to he told this to his no, he told this to his relatives and mother Sachi about his dream actually. You know, so this is the childhood Balya Lila, the Pauganda. Pauganda Lila means 5 to 10 years. Kumana Samanastam hi yati yajnapadabjayo Sumanoarpana matrena Sri Chaitanya Prabhum bhaje. So even if Kumana, bad mind, even if you're a bad person, you know, if you offer one flower to Lord Chaitanya, you know, you will become a bad devotee, bad person. You know, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, you'll become a good person, good devotee. Mind is the cause of all the nonsense. You know, mind, Sumana means mind, Sumana means good mind, Sumana also means flower. Sumana Orpana Martrena. When you offer your mind or when you offer one flower to Lord Chaitanya, you know, Lord Chaitanya will become very happy and he'll bestow his Krishna Prem on you. You know. So actually in Pogandalilla, you know, baby Nimai requests his mother not to eat on Ekadasi, grains egg on Ekadasi, and his brother Vishwarup. Vishwarup was not interested in anything. You know, he would regularly, day, morning and evening, he would go and sit in the classes of Advaitacharya. He would go and sit in the classes of Advaitacharya. So one day, Sachi mother told Nimai, call your brother for lunch. So they were all chanting, you know, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. So suddenly, so this boy, baby Nimai came and everyone stopped. So Nimai was wearing 4 directions. Means what? You know what it means. So he was wearing only 4 directions means he was naked. Then everyone stopped. Wow, so beautiful, so charming. So why you came? Because you called me. So because of the influence of Yogamaya, they didn't understand. So he pulled the hand of his brother. Come, let us go home. So when the brothers went home, they were looking at this at Nimai only. Wow, who is this? So when Vishwarup attained the age of 10, you know this like in India, childhood marriages. So they were planning, parents were planning to get him married. When Vishwarup understood, he understood, you know, if you associate with the devotees, you understood the temporary nature of the material world and the eternal nature of the spirit. So what he did, um, you know, without telling anybody, he left home and he took sannyas. He left home and he took sannyas. So there, what is that? It is said, five things are forbidden in in Kali Yuga. What is that? Ashwamedham, Gavalambam, Sannyasam, Falapaitrikam, Devarena Sutaptam, Kalo Panchavarjayat. Ashwamedh Yajna, you know, Gomedh Yajna, and sannyas, offering forbidden food to ancestors, and uh, the fifth one is no need to discuss. These five are forbidden actually. So, but then of course, Prabhupada they give sannyas for preaching. It's always to expand preaching. Prabhupada gives sannyas. So, in our tradition, sannyas is there only for the sake of preaching actually. One day, Nimai took a beetle nut. You know, one day we took a beetle nut, and what happened? Because it was very intense, he fainted. Um, so so he became unconscious in that he had a dream. Nima had a dream. His brother Vishrup came and uh, came and pulled him. Come and take sannyas. So when his brother told, he said, no. Uh, who will take care of the father and mother? Actually, when he was like that, the parents were concerned, Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi. So when he came back to consciousness, he said, I had a dream. Vishwarup came and asked me to come with him and take sannyas. Then I told him, who will take care of the father and mother? I'll get married and take care of the father and mother. When they heard, they were very happy actually. You know. So one day Jagannath Mishra had a dream, and there, he saw all the people. Uh, he saw all the people and all the devatas worshipping. Uh, you know, worshipping Lord Chaitanya. When he saw that, they were offering prayers to him. So after this dream, actually, Jagannath Mishra, he leaves the world. He passes away, and when he goes back to spiritual world. When Jagannath Mishra left the world, Nimai and his mother were so sad. The relatives came and they console them. They console them. So then, what is that? So I forgot to mention one point. Um, in the Bhalila ended when they initiated him to the education, Hate Kadi. That point I forgot to mention. So when when the Jagannath Mishra put him to education, that's when the childhood ended and the Paugand Leela started. So in the childhood he became uh, very absorbed in studies, you know, and so anyway, Jagannath Mishra he passes away from the material world and goes back to spiritual world. Then he consoles his mother, and finally the mother and son left Sachimata and Nimai, and so he understood. I am I'm not sannyasi. I'm not anything. So I'm staying at home. So it's better I get married. So one day what happened? Again on the bank of Ganga, he happens to meet. Uh, you know he happens to meet Lakshmi Devi. The relationship which was already awakened has become settled, and by his influence, this Vanamali, the marriage maker, uh, he comes to his home and makes a proposal from Vallabhacharya, from the bride, bride side. When makes a proposal to Sachimata, you know, uh, so they agreed and the marriage takes place. So, you know, He was um, hardly like 10 years, less than 10 years. So he was married to Lakshmi Devi, you know. So he was married to Lakshmi Devi, and this is Pauganda Leela. And age 11 onwards, Kaishwara, youthful age, starts. The Kaishwara is known for once from age 11 he started teaching the students. He started teaching the students, and uh, he is known for defeating all the scholars. Whoever was there, he would defeat them. This is the time, during the school. Actually, Murari Gupta was Murari Gupta and what is that? Gadadhar Pandit. They were all Mukunda. Mukunda actually. Mukunda, Gadadhar Pandit. They are the contemporaries, classmates of Lord Chaitanya. But the problem with them, Nimai Pandit, very arrogant, you very arrogant. So one day he called Mukunda. Mukunda, come here. Yes, I'm giving you a proposition. So he gives a So these days people are, the cricket, the baseball. So what is it? Um, so today's sports are basically connected to physical body, physical strength. But 500 years ago, it was all about debating, intellectual. So I have a proposition for you. I'm giving you this question answer. So, yes. And am I going to ask? Mukunda would answer. So you would say, when Mukunda would answer, no, that's wrong. Then Mukunda said, all right, you give the correct answer. Then he gave it. So Nimai would answer. Said, wow. Do you agree? Yes. You agree with the answer? Yes. That is wrong. I can give a better answer. And Nimai Pandit would give a better answer. Do you agree now? Oh, this is better answer. Yeah, I agree. No, this is also there is a better answer. And he would answer. Abba, so difficult to deal with. So devotees loved him at the same time because his focus was only on the scholarly ability. They would avoid him actually. One day Mukunda uh, saw Nimai Pandit, and he saw him coming and he started running away. So Mukund, Nimai called him and said, Mukunda, today you're avoiding me, but you should know a day will come. You should know a day will come. You'll be proud of me. I'll become that type of devotee. You'll become very proud of me. Interesting. So anyway, what is that? Um, in Kaishwara, youthful age, this is when he started teaching students, and so many people would come to him because of his scholarly ability. And this is when he went to East Bengal. This is when he went to East Bengal. He went to East Bengal, and wherever he would go, so many students would come to him to listen from him. When he went to East Bengal, uh, this is the place where he met Tapan Mishra. Tapan Mishra, he said, uh, uh, Tapan Mishra, and Tapan Mishra had a dream one day. Tapan Mishra is a scholar. He read so many books, but he could not understand the conclusion of his life. What is the goal of life? So Tapan Mishra, one day he slept, he had a dream. One Brahmin came in the dream and said, you know, Tapan Mishra, I understood you want to know the goal of your life. So Nimai Pandit has come to the East Bengal. Just go and meet him. Go and meet him. Mm, so so they met each other. So Tapan Mishra went and met Nimai Pandit. Mm. So he told him, The goal of life is to attain the love of God. The goal of life is attain the love of God. The object of life, sadhya, is Krishna. No, attaining the love of God is the goal of life, and the process sadhana is chanting the holy name. Actually, when you know Lord Chaitanya went to East Bengal, he induced people to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Wherever he did, wherever he would go, he would do that. So, and the process, the process to attain the goal, self-realization is called as a sadhana. What is sadhana? Nam Sankirtan, chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Anyway, uh, I encourage you to go to Kasi and you stay there. I'm going to come and meet you. Oh, means he knew at that point. Uh, all this thing, he knew he would eventually take sannyas and he would meet Tapan Mishra and Kasi. Hare Krishna. So, and he instructed Tapan Mishra to go to Kasi. So that's why Tapan Mishra did not. Tapan Mishra did not. What is that? Did not see the sannyas pastime of Lord Chaitanya. Uh, what is that? You know, when he was there, uh, when he was there, when Lord Chaitanya was there in Bengal, so he spent a lot of time in Bengal, East Bengal actually. Then what happened? Mother Lakshmi Devi, Lakshmi Priya, she could not bear that separation. She could not bear the separation from Lord Chaitanya, and she left the body. She went back to spiritual world. So Lord Chaitanya is sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma. He knew that. Um, so, but when his trip to East Bengal, he brought, he made a lot of followers, brought a lot of, money, Lakshmi. So he came home. His mother was very, very, very sad, actually, So he explained to his mother the nature of this world. Explained to his mother the nature of this world. Uh, what is that? One day Buddha was actually giving a lecture. One mother came. She was crying. She had only one son, and his son left the world. So she came to Buddha and said, everyone is telling you are God, So please, my son left the world. Can you bring him back to me? Buddha said, I will, provided you do this. I have a condition. What is that? You go to, you know, one home and get me little rice from that home. But one condition, that home they have not had experienced. Sorry, they have not experienced. There was no death in their home past 50 years. Bring it. She was so glad. She went to every home and said, if there is no death in your home for 50 years, give me little rice. Everyone was willing to give her rice. But when they came to know the condition, no. So that is the nature of this world actually. That is the nature of this world. So anyway, what is that? During this time, um, what is that? Ishwarapuri makes a visit to Ishwarapuri makes a visit to Navadvip. The Nimai Pandit was very arrogant. Uh, so when they met each other, So Ishwarapuri saw Nimaya Pandit. Wow, what a brilliance, what an effulgence. So though Nimaya Pandit was regarded as very scholarly, proud Nimaya Pandit, but when he would come in front of devotees, he was very humble. He would offer obeisances. Whenever he would see Srivas, he would offer obeisances. Srivas was very grown up, you know. So Ishwarpuri, Ishwarpuri is the one. He is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. No, a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and he took very good care of a guru in his last days. And understanding his mood, he would serve him very patiently. Yesterday I was telling Madhavendra Puri became invalid, you know, and but still Madhavendra Puri was feeling separation from Krishna. But the bodily, that's how the body is a machine. Bodily functions will be, sometimes they'll be disrupted because it's a machine. But we are not the machine. So, but Ishwarapuri, Madhavendra Puri was, in his last days and he was experiencing that separation, Pralamba. And Ishwarapuri took very good care of him. Madhavendra Puri blessed him. So that's why we should be very, very, if we are very sincere to our spiritual master and render service, so all the auspiciousness will come to us. When Advaita Acharya saw Ishwarapuri, wow, that's, he reminded, Ishwarapuri's presence reminded him of Madhavendra Puri. And of course, he came to know he is Madhavendra Puri disciple, so God brother. So, Guru, what he does, the way touchstone makes the iron into gold, a, a bona fide guru from a bona fide disciplic succession, he elevates the disciple, you know, uh, to a stage a disciple cannot even imagine. You know, what is that? Sri Guru? Sri Guru Nirataranam Paramananda Mukham Karoti Vachalam. Mukham Karoti Vachalam. Pangum Langayate Girim. A person, a blind man, what is that? Sorry, a handicapped, physically handicapped man, he can climb the mountains, and a fool can speak. Mukham Karoti Vachalam, can speak the glories of the Supreme Lord, glories of the Vedic culture. And a lame man can climb the mountains if they have the mercy of a guru. Yat krupatamaham mande Sri Guru Nirataranam. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, however advanced one may be, he or she should not think they're more advanced than their guru, the predecessor gurus. So anyway, what is that? So Lord Chaitanya, happened to meet Ishwarapuri and serves him very nicely. Serves him very nicely. You know, you know. Eventually, tomorrow we'll see the famous pastime of Lord Chaitanya meeting Keshav Kashmir. Actually, if we can touch something a little bit. So what happened? Keshav Kashmiri was Keshav Kashmiri was a scholar, Digvijayi, you know. So devotee of Saraswati, goddess Saraswati. There was nobody who could stand in front of him. But he came to know Navadvip is the seat of the learning, and Navadvip is the seat of the learning. And what he did, so he sent a message to everyone. So I'm coming to Navdeep and I challenge, but anybody is there can you know stand and argue with me, debate with me. It's an open challenge. Everyone knew what is that? What is that? Keshav Kashmir is a powerful personality. He has conquered, practically defeated everybody. Digvijay, there is nobody who can stand in front of him. So all these Bhattacharyas, they became scared. What will happen to their, So those days, the schools were run by the individual teachers, and the students would join because of the scholarly ability of the teacher, because of his reputation. But if they are defeated, what will happen to their reputation? The students may go away. And everyone knew the power of Keshav Kashmiri. So they all thought, best thing is we will, we will make sure, Nimai Pandit. What is that? Nimai Pandit. Uh, we make sure that Keshav Kashmiri would meet Nimai Pandit. Nimai is only anyway a small child. If he's defeated, that's okay. But if Keshav Kashmiri is defeated uh, by Nimai Pandit, that is the glory of Navdeep. Anyway, so what happened? So uh, with this idea, so they wanted, what is that? Uh, they wanted Keshav Kashmiri to meet Lord Chaitanya. I mean, Nimai Pandit. You know. So what is that? Keshav Kashmiri, as a Digvijay, he has pomp and he was coming with his entourage. So many people. Lord Chaitanya, Nimai Pandit thought, if I defeat him in public, he cannot live. You know. So what I will do in defeating him, I'll preserve his dignity. That way, he'll have the transformation of the heart. That way, he'll have the transformation of heart. So one day in a full moon night, Lord Chaitanya was actually, what is that? He was sitting with his disciples on the bank of Ganga, and Keshav Kashmiri came. So Keshav Kashmiri came with all his disciples, with his entourage. When he came with his entourage, and they were coming on, this. He was coming in a palanquin, so many horses. He was very proud. Then he saw the Nimai Pandit, and he was attracted to his beauty. Oh, you are the Nimai Pandit. I heard of that. And that you teach Kalabam Yakaran. For beginners. As you meet um, a fifth grade teacher, and you're a professor. How do you respond to him? Oh, you're uh, uh, a beginner, and you teach students grammar. And I was larger. My point was very humble. Yes, known as a teacher of grammar. But I heard you're very famous. You're very good at impressing the co-teachers. Very good impressing these students. So Lord Chaitanya said, no. Of course, I'm a grammar teacher, but I'm not. I cannot impress anybody. So what Lord Chaitanya did, he inflated his ego by glorifying him. So so I heard you're very very great scholarly, and I mean somebody comes and tells you you're very famous. I heard your name there and there. You become puffed up, Hare Krishna. So, and actually he saw Nimai Pandit, so charming, wonderful dhoti and so Brahmin thread, around his shoulders, you know. So when he saw that beauty, he was impressed. So then, I heard you are so much learned and experienced in poetry, and I want, he was surrounded by his students that time, and I want you to uh, come. I want to hear your poetry. I want you to compose verses on the glorification of Ganga. So what is that? Uh, Keshav Kashmiri. Wow, that's he was like he was a Digvijayi, very powerful in Sanskrit. And he composed 100 verses on the glorification of Ganga with the speed of the mind, speed of a wind, and all the students they were stunned in an hour, like extempore. And I don't know how many of the grammar in Sanskrit, what is that? If it is the poem is like Kanda, Sishabadhyamar, Champakamala, Utpalvala, Mattebam, Sardal, we created them. They have their specific rules. 13th letter should be this. If it's a Champalapmala, 13th letter should be this, or fourth letter should be this. Mattebam means that it should be cha, it should be va, bha, Sabaranamaya Mattebam. So these their rules are there. So when your glorification, not just glorification, you have to be very careful when you are presenting. What he composed, it means whatever he's telling is like the blessings of Saraswati. So when he composed 100 verses, the students of Nimai Pandit, they were impressed. So Nimai Pandit very humbly said, "Sir, you know I don't think there is anybody greater poet than you, but I have a question for you. In your composition, tell me the alankars, the beautification, the ornamentation, and the faults." When he said that faults, there are no faults in it. Keshav Kashmir said. So that famous verse, Mahatam Gangaya Sadam Idam Abhadi Nitaram. So that verse, and Lord Chaitanya quoted that verse. You know, Yadesha Sri Vishnu's Charana Kamalotpat Subhaga Ditiya Sri Lakshmir Iva Sura Nara Archya Charana Bhavani Bhartur Ya Sirasi Vibhavatyavi Adbhuta Guna. So this is the verse actually, and I could not pronounce. I couldn't pronounce properly, but and this verse, so Lord Chaitanya quoted this verse. You tell me, forget about the 100 verses. This one verse, you tell me what are the, you tell me what are the ornamentations of this verse, what are the faults of this verse. Keshav Kashmiri was stunned. How could you repeat one verse such extempore when I told the verses with the mind of with the speed of a mind, speed of a wind? And my Pandit said, God gave you the ability to compose, and you are called Kavivar. God gave me the ability to remember Srutidhar. Now you tell me, what are the faults? What are the ornamentations? You know, it has a, this Keshav Kashmir said it has no faults. There's Upma Alankara, you know, so it has all these alliterations, Anuprasa, but no. So it has faults. Immediately he said, you're a teacher of a grammar. What do you know? You don't know about all this, the smiles and the alliterations, Said, I don't, yes, but I heard, you know. Uh, yes, I'm not on your level, but I heard this. Tell me. So, if not, I can tell you. So, if you want, I can tell you. So, no choice. Yes, go ahead, tell me. He said, Mahatmam Gangaya Satamidam. Here, you know, you are placing the principal unknown subject matter before the known subject matter. You know, these are little technical. But anyway, Lord Chaitanya, one famous thing is Bhavani Bhartar. Bhavani means, you know, wife of Lord Shiva. Parvati, wife of Lord Shiva. Bhavani Bharta means wife of Lord Shiva's husband. So Lord Chaitanya said it implies um, Lord Parvati has one more husband. It became redundancy. You know, um, it became redundancy. So he showed the five faults. Keshu Kashmiri could not speak. Then he said it has five good qualities. The what is that? The the five alankars, the literary embellishments in the Digvijay's verse, and he enumerated all those. So we will discuss this tomorrow. It's little late, but we'll discuss the same point tomorrow. Basically, Lord Chaitanya broke his pride. Pride is not good. This is the lesson. It's the topmost lessons um, in Adilila. You know, especially Lord Chaitanya, how he broke his, you know, pride without even hurting him. Actually, we'll discuss this tomorrow. You know, thank you very much. Please come again. This is not Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami touches touches it. We are also touching it. Otherwise, Chaitanya Charitamrita is very big. We'll not be able to finish it. So we'll continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna Dandavat Allah Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhupada ki jai.